Earlier today, I had a catch up with a friend that I hadn't spoken to for over 3 years. And when she asked me if I was still working in corporate, I answered with the biggest grin on my face, no, I left corporate 3 years ago and I have retrained in an intervening period and gained coaching and therapy certifications. And I am not planning on ever going back. And she was absolutely shocked and also pleased for me because she has experienced the burnout, the stress, the constant demands of always being more productive, doing more, when it was out of alignment with what brought her satisfaction, passion, and enjoyment in her life. And just like most of us, that's where I was 3 years ago. I was so relieved when the company I was working for did not have the financial resources to continue employing me as a finance contractor. And that enabled me to pivot my career. At the time, I thought I was taking a 3-month sabbatical where I would just recharge my batteries, recover from the burnout that I was experiencing, and then I would delve back into the market. And then my lucky stars aligned and I listened to Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO podcast when Marissa Peer was a guest on the show. I had seen Marissa's adverts on Facebook and YouTube where she was talking about retraining and becoming a hypnotherapist, or as her modality, rapid transformational therapist, and you could actually start impacting people's lives. And my logical, critical mind sort of says, oh, that's just too good to be true. That doesn't really happen. You can't make money helping people. And that was the limiting belief that I had back then. And I listened to that podcast and I was so transfixed by what she shared, the power of our subconscious mind to actually control how we think, feel, and behave. And I bought her book, I Am Enough, and I did the exercises over the weekend and I was absolutely fascinated. So that prompted me to book onto a webinar, and then I joined her online course and then the live event the following September. And once I did that, then I started also doing the coaching course that was offered by the training school, because then I knew I could actually package up the therapy side of things, which is about untapping your subconscious mind and figuring out why you think, feel, and behave the way that you do, and unlock what no longer serves, what no longer helps, what no longer is useful in your life, and let that go to create the space for our natural brain's neuroplasticity to allow new thoughts, new feelings, new beliefs to be created, new stories that can actually drive and motivate you in order for you to live a life that is full of passion, full of meaning, full of purpose. So as soon as I did the courses, then the thirst for wanting more knowledge and to impact more lives was what sort of drove me to set up my online business, and under the brand of Be Heard, Be Brave, Be Free, which empowers people to look at what's not working in their life, meet them where they currently are, and then help them figure out what isn't working, why it isn't working, and then release it and let go in order to create the right space to introduce the new beliefs, the new stories, the new narratives that enables them to live their life on their terms. And that is how I've pivoted my career. But at the same time, the financial decisions that I made while I was a contractor and while I was an employee, putting money into my pension funds and saving for that rainy day and ensuring that my kind of debts were as low as possible, that has enabled me to have the financial freedom to do the pivot. Because let's get real, no one transitions from a full salaried paid position and then recoups the same amount or even higher when they go self-employed and they launch something that is brand new. So from that kind of perspective, the accountant prudent in me is actually about ensuring that there is the right financial safety and security put in place, the right measures, in order to make that transition sustainable, but at the same time an enjoyable experience. Because I appreciate there's a lot of people in their 40s and 50s that are working in the corporate world, especially within the financial services world, where they're waiting for the redundancy to give them that freedom to have the financial security to be able to stop working or to pivot and transition and do something that it gives them more joy and fulfillment in their life. And for some, it's just about moving from one employer to the next, because sometimes the accomplishment and the desire to have more is what is actually driving them. So I don't know if any of this is resonating with you, but I just thought after having that conversation with my friend today that I would take the opportunity to capture this on video, because she was absolutely thrilled by the changes that I had made and about the fact that sometimes you don't see the progress that you're making because it's part of your day to day. You're making the consistent incremental changes and updates and progress in your life. But when you're relaying that story back to someone else, that's when retrospectively you can actually see how far you've come and how much happier and more joyful and content I am, as opposed to where I was 3 years ago when I was burnt out, when I was exhausted, when I was constantly prioritizing other people's needs and expectations over my own. I was the kind of people pleaser, the overgiver, but I was never taking care of what I really needed. And looking back, I'm actually pat on the back, Tanya, for taking that brave action, for choosing to put me at the center of my own life. Because at the end of the day, I am the one responsible for taking care of me. So if I don't safeguard myself, if I don't put myself in the center, no one else will. So maybe take a moment to reflect. Where in your life are you not putting yourself center in your life? And if that is the case, ask the question why. What is holding you back from prioritizing yourself? Is it because you believe you might be selfish? Or are you doing it from some other desire, motivation behind it? And if you feel brave enough, put it in the comments below. Let me know what is actually holding you back from living your life of abundance that is available to all of us. If this has resonated with you and you want more content from me, please subscribe to the channel. There's lots of videos there that might inspire and motivate you in order to take action and make you the priority that you truly deserve to be. So go out and seize the day, and remember, there's always choices in life, so choose wisely. Bye until the next one.